Yeah, of course. So I started out, trying to have a baby naturally when I was about 33 years old. It was a little bit late because I guess it depends how you look at it, but I felt it was late. Um, and because I'd been building a career and, my husband and I got married and I had no real sense. I mean, of course I'd seen patients, so I knew had awareness people did struggle, but I didn't really have an idea that that would be me. My AMH levels were actually really high, so I had a lot of eggs, but unfortunately, a lot of them were not good. Most of them weren't good.
Hmm.
So I
How
was
was that determined by
by
IVF or?
yeah, I would do retrievals, and I'd
Oh,
get like 30 embryo or 30 eggs,
oh.
and maybe one would be good if I was lucky.
Hmm.
So there was definitely that challenge, and I had a series of miscarriages, all very very early on.
Were
Um,
those unexplained?
Yes. So um, I was never able to like keep a pregnancy. Like I just kept miscarrying, chemical pregnancy, miscarriage. There was some speculation of endometriosis, some possibility of like the shape of my uterus causing issues. And then, the other part of it was just that it was unexplained why it was difficult for me to produce like good quality eggs and also to be able to maintain pregnancy. So I did IVF, I did a bunch of medicated IUI, I did Clomid, I did natural cycle. The part that was so challenging was that it was hard for me to get good eggs. So every embryo felt so precious. So every time there was a miscarriage or a failed transfer or disappointment, it was like I felt the pressure of like, can I do another retrieval? I had
Mhm.
kind of hyperstimulation. It was, like as I mentioned, like hard to get, and the years kept ticking by.
How crazy frustrating that must have been to have a bunch of them and to
Yeah.
have them be so few that you could work with. I had the opposite. I had not very many, but the one or two that I had made Kira and Jack.
Yeah.
So that was really interesting how this whole process forces you to ask yourself over and over on a deep level, what do I really believe? What do I believe is in my future? What do I believe my body can do? What do I think? What level can I go to? How committed am I to this idea of becoming a parent?
Yeah.
It's it's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like jumping into a swimming pool and hoping that it's filled with water, kind of.
And the tricky part about that is it's like you're also making those you're also thinking about those things, you're looking at that, being really introspective, but you're also struggling. So it's like you're not at your like base level of like, in terms of your emotional state, in terms of your physical state. Your body's been through all these hormones, your emotions are all over the place. So there is a bit of a filter on that.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's hard to be positive. Sometimes it's hard to have hope. Sometimes you have anger, and all those things definitely change your perspective.
And throughout the cycle, there's going to be certain times where there's more insecurity
Yeah.
than other times of the cycle. And there's certain times where you just literally give up, throw your hands in the air, flatline, and other times where you think like, oh, we totally have this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's one of the things that I teach the women, because my goal is to normalize what's happening so that we can remove some of the shame and stigma, because that is not helping anything. If that was something, if shame and fear and rage actually moved the needle forward and helped women get to their babies faster, then I would help elicit that. But it's kind of like I help them to release it
Yeah.
at certain times of the month with like journal prompts or questions, things for them to be thinking about, or to help them hear themselves.
Yeah.
Like, for example, yesterday I did a Zoom with a woman who's 46 years old, and they froze embryos without testing them like 6 years ago.
Okay.
And they only got 4 at that point, and they've gone through 3, and they've had a couple of chemical pregnancies. So obviously the 4th one that's there, they can't do any more retrievals. Potentially. I mean, it's going to be hard to find a doctor that will do that.
Yeah, for sure.
But she also has like an autoimmune disorder, and her mood was really hyped up with good reason. But I had to say, like, you have to calm yourself down and calm your system down, because now the only thing you can control, because that egg is frozen, all you can do is help thaw it and warm it and cook it correctly with a properly preheated
Yeah.
oven, right?
Yeah.
Like it was really clear to me. I always have a choice, just like you. We always have a choice in what we say to our clients, because we know that they will hang on our words. They're looking at us to give them hope
Yeah.
or explanations or whatever. So I said, listen, that aggressive attitude, as she like pummeled me with 9 emails to get my attention about a Zoom link. So I was like, that was too much.
Yeah.
And I'm not an egg cell or an embryo.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
please, awareness
Yeah.
and the need to down regulate the nervous system. That will help the uterus to be more receptive energetically.
No, that makes complete sense.